We've talked about our cast of characters individually or singularly, if you want to think of it like that. Our demand schedule and our supply schedule. We took those schedules and we made individual pictures, which we called graphs. But in order for us to really get an analysis of the effects of supply and demand on a particular good, we need to gather the... We've taken a look at both our demand schedule and our supply schedule individually. And we took a look at their respective graphs and saw the relationship between what each of them had relative to price. Price, quantity demanded, price, quantity supplied. But in order for us to really see the relationship between our supply schedule and our demand schedule, we need to put the two together. So we need to make just a few changes here. And in order to do this, on our horizontal axis where we used to have quantity demanded or quantity supplied, we're simply going to put the term quantity, which is Q, because both our demand and our supply curve are incorporated into one graph or one picture. And our price remains the same. Over on this other chart over here, we have the price of go-karts. We have the price of go-karts and we have our individual quantity demanded schedules and our individual quantity supply schedules. We just have them grouped together so we can see the relationship. So again, if the price is $600, I will purchase, or the market will purchase, I should say, 6,000 go-karts. However, if the price is $600, as a supplier, I only want to supply 3,000 go-karts. So in order for us to see the relationship, all we need to do again is to create the graph. Now we already have the graph and we're just going to incorporate both curves on the graph. In order to do that, at a price of $600, I will provide, I am quantity supplied because it's upward sloping, my demand curve is downward sloping, I will supply 300 units. At $800, I will now supply 3,500 units, the law of supply. Subsequent to that, if the price is $1,800, I will only demand, my quantity demanded will only be 300, or $1,600, my quantity demanded would go up to 3,500. So we have our individual points which make up our specific quantity demand, our specific supply schedule and our demand schedule. And all these are, again, is just simply pictures of our supply and our demand. Now we have a very unique situation here that only the market system can provide. And that is, we have two opposing groups of people. We have people that want to sell you as much of the product at the highest price that they can get. And we have people who want to purchase as much of the product that they can get at the lowest price. So we have two completely opposing groups of people. And because of this, we have only one point where the two mutually come together and agree. And at this point, the point where my quantity demanded is equal to my quantity supplied, we call this equilibrium. This is what we call the rationing function of prices. This is the place where prices and quantities are synchronized, so that I agree that I will sell to the market 4,500 go-karts at $1,200, and the market will purchase 4,500 go-karts at $1,200 per go-kart. This is my price at equilibrium, P sub E, and my quantity at equilibrium, Q sub E. But there has to be a reason, other than the book made it come out like this, that this is the only point. Why is this the only point? There has to be a magnet, if you want to think of it that way. There has to be a magnet that is drawing me into this point. And that magnet is this. At points below our equilibrium. It points in this area here. I'm going to call this area A. At area NB here, I am only willing to supply 3,000 go-karts, but you demand 5,500 go-karts. So therefore, my quantity demanded is greater than my quantity supplied. We call this excess demand. And excess demand is where I have quantity demanded is greater than quantity supplied, or we call that a shortage. I have one Blu-ray DVD player ready to sell, and I have 30 people in my classroom and they all want it. Well, obviously I'm going to sell it to the highest bidder. So therefore, shortages drive prices up. Subsequent to that, why isn't $1,800 our equilibrium price? Well, at $1,800, you only want to buy 3,000 and I want to supply you 5,500. So at this point, quantity supplied is greater than quantity demanded. We call this excess supply, and I have a surplus of goods and services. So there's 30 people in my classroom. I have 50 Blu-ray DVD players and I have to get rid of them all. What do I have to do to get rid of them? I have to lower my price. So we think of this as area B as being my surplus, area A as being my shortage. We can see that there's a moving tendency to go towards this one point where I will sell you 4,500 go-karts and you will buy 4,500 go-karts at $1,200 each. This is eBay. This is the market system at its finest. So again, if you have any questions, put it on the discussion board, email me. I will address all of your emails and put that answer on the discussion board. I ask that all the other students do the same. Thank you very much. Have a great day.